Halloween greetings, everyone! It's me, the Baron of Blood himself, Count Halberd of Halberd Studios, speaking to you from this creepy castle. Ooh! Today, I'm gonna teach you how to make your very own monster. Monster hit, that is! I'm like a modern-day Frankenstein over here! Survival horror games are all the rage this time of year, and the best part is that as long as you have a spooky atmosphere and a few good jump scares, every other part of your game can be terribly flawed, and no one will ever mention it! Any criticism about your game can be easily defended with this magic phrase. Yeah, that's the point. Man, these controls are so unresponsive and sluggish, I can hardly get away from these monsters. Yeah, that's the point. And just like the helpless victims bound and gagged in my basement, these games are easy to execute. So first, we need to set up our game, and to do that, we need to pick where it's going to take place. Here's a fun exercise. Write down any and all concepts you have for levels for your game. Remember, there are no dumb ideas. Now, cross out any ideas that aren't abandoned asylums, abandoned hospitals, or abandoned primary schools. What? A research station in Antarctica? What a dumb idea! Next, we need to make sure the game flows properly by implementing expert level design. And by expert level design, I of course mean claustrophobic corridors that lead you from point A to point B by utilizing switch puzzles and keycards. Fun fact! Silent Hill was supposed to be the world's first open-ended sandbox survival horror game, but one of the programmers forgot to unlock any of the doors. So now we need to create a protagonist to inhabit your vast, living, breathing hospital. To do that, we need to find someone who is average. But what are we talking about when we say average? What does that mean? Well, it needs to be someone that most people are comfortable playing as. Someone that most fans of the genre can relate to. You know, someone that's just average. Well, that's not right. Oh, that's better. Now let's create a protagonist. And for argument's sake, let's make it a male, because we want this game to actually sell copies in America. To create an average person, we need to take equal elements of someone exceptional and someone pathetic. So let's take characteristics of someone who is a hunk and someone who is a wimp. But remember, you have to strike the right balance. Too hot! Too hot! Too wimpy! Too wimpy! Ah, there we go. See, this guy looks like he could be a model, but he also looks like he could have rickets. Remember, we want someone that looks like Dante, but has the combat prowess of Glass Joe. What is scarier in a survival horror scenario? People who were once human beings turned into cold, heartless killing machines by a virus? Or your fellow survivors who have turned into opportunistic, untrustworthy sociopaths due to circumstance? That's the conundrum, isn't it? Sickness and madness, these things can turn you into a monster, but so can fear, paranoia, and the need to rationalize your more barbaric actions. So, which is scarier? Neither! The scariest thing is a giant mega zombie! Look how ripped he is! So now that you have a theme, you need an antagonist. A monster that not only embodies everything your franchise is about, but also the monster that people will make creepy, over-sexualized pictures of on DeviantArt. Here are some of my personal favorites. Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, was a story about a man playing God and creating life from death itself. The creature becomes a twisted fiend who embodies our fear of death and is a cautionary tale of man's hubris. Much like Mary Shelley's original monster, Nemesis of Resident Evil fame is an undead being, born from a lab and filled with wicked desires. But he has a rocket launcher! Pyramid Head was the physical representation of a man's need to punish himself for a crime he felt responsible for. But he was so menacing and persistent that he appeared in every following iteration of the Silent Hill series, whether it fit the narrative or not. Imagine an emotionless, rusted metal man who tortures his victims with power tools, cutting through waves of desiccated flesh without so much of an utterance of remorse or guilt. He's killing those children! Oh God, he's killing those naked children! Let me tell you, this guy's so scary I never even tried the game. If that isn't a recipe for success, I don't know what is. What is scary to you, the people making the game? Think about something traumatic that has happened in your life and draw upon that. The things that are truly terrifying torment us for years, if not our entire lives. They are things that are beyond resolution, beyond closure. And that's why your game shouldn't have an ending. Now don't get me wrong, someone needs to blow up or die or whatever, and the credits need to roll, because by God, you paid that Nickelback cover band $10,000, and you were going to shoehorn in that whiny, grunty, overproduced, underwritten, faux alternative rock garbage in there somewhere. But if your game has a sense of closure, or worse yet, a sense of accomplishment, you've done something wrong. Well, those are my tricks, and it was a treat to tell you about them, and hopefully people will think your game was a treat and not a trick. And when people knock on your door and say trick or treat, the treat will be your game, and the trick will be that they paid you for it. For Choose Your Own Venture, I'm Dirk Halberd saying trick or treat.